All right, let's talk about something really interesting today. You'd think creating a beautiful blue and white bouquet for Hanukkah would be pretty straightforward, right? Well, it turns out it's this whole surprising quest.
I mean, you see blue and white everywhere for Hanukkah. It's on the decorations, the wrapping paper, and, of course, the flowers. But have you ever stopped to wonder why those colors? Where did that even come from?
And here's the real kicker for what we're talking about today. Why is it so darn hard to find the right flowers for it? It's like nature itself is making it a challenge. That's the real puzzle we're going to solve.
Okay, so before we get into the flower finding mission, we've got to understand the why. These colors, blue and white, they aren't just for Hanukkah. Nope. They are a huge part of Jewish tradition, woven deep into its fabric.
Yeah, there's some really deep symbolism here. Let's start with blue, or techelet. In the Torah, it's the color God commanded for the tassels on prayer shawls. It's meant to symbolize divinity, like the sky and the sea. Then you have white, which is all about purity, cleanliness, and light. It's why it's worn for special occasions and high holidays. So when you put them together, wow, it's a really powerful statement of faith and celebration.
All right, so let's say you're putting together your own arrangement. We'll start with the easy stuff, the white flowers. And let me tell you, when it comes to white, you are absolutely spoiled for choice.
You've got white roses, which are all about hope and purity. Lilies are amazing too. They symbolize holiness and new beginnings, which is just perfect for Hanukkah. And the list goes on and on with carnations, mums, and more. Seriously, finding gorgeous white flowers, not a problem at all.
Okay, but now for the hard part, the main event, finding the blue. This right here is where a simple project becomes a real botanical challenge.
And I'm not just making this up. It's a scientific fact. Gardening know-how puts it perfectly. True blue flowers are some of the rarest blooms out there. The actual pigments that make a flower blue are just super uncommon in nature.
So, what does that mean for us? Well, if you're committed to using only natural flowers, you basically have to go on a treasure hunt. You're searching for these rare, beautiful, and kinda hard to find blue gems.
And just to really drive this point home, look at this. This is your list for white flowers. It's huge. You've got so many options, it's almost overwhelming. An embarrassment of riches, really.
Okay, and now for the blue list. See what I mean? The difference is just stark. Don't get me wrong, Delphinium, Hydrangea, they're absolutely gorgeous. But the list is just so much shorter. Your choices are beautiful for sure, but they're way more limited. And that's the problem in a nutshell.
So, what do you do? I mean, what happens when nature just doesn't have that perfect shade of sapphire blue you're dreaming of? What's the plan B? Well, this is where the pros come in. Florists have all these clever tricks up their sleeves to get around nature's limits and create those amazing blue flowers. It's time for some insider secrets.
Okay, technique number 1 is stem dyeing. This is actually pretty cool. It's like a mini science experiment. You just take a white flower, carnations work great for this, and stick it in some water with floral dye. The flower gets thirsty, drinks up the colored water, and boom, the color travels right up into the petals. It's wild to watch.
But a very important heads up, and this comes from a florist on Reddit. That dye doesn't always stay put. It can totally rub off onto your hands, your clothes, the tablecloth, you name it. So just handle them with care.
All right, for even more control, there's technique number 2, painting. Florists use these special spray paints, Design Master is a popular one, to get a really nice even color. Or they can do something called tipping, where they just dip the very edges of the petals in paint. It gives this really cool custom look. And then there's the third option, which is maybe the most practical, using artificial or preserved flowers. Look, if you need a very specific shade of blue and it has to be perfect, this is probably the way to go. And the big bonus, you can reuse them every single year.
Okay, so you've got your gorgeous white flowers, you've figured out your blue flower strategy. Now it's time for the fun part. Putting it all together to make that beautiful centerpiece for your Hanukkah table.
So let's just recap real quick. Going all natural gives you that authentic, subtle look, but your color choices are limited. Dyeing or painting means you can get any color you want, but yeah, it can be a bit messy. And going artificial gives you perfect, reusable color, but you do miss out on that real flower smell. Honestly, there's no right or wrong choice here. It's just about what works best for you.
Oh, and one last little tip before we wrap up. The flowers are the main show, but don't forget the accents. A little bit of silver ribbon, some gold berries, maybe even some tiny decorative dreidels tucked in there. That's what really makes it feel special and ties it all into the holiday. So there you have it.
From ancient traditions to modern-day florist secrets, that's the whole surprising story behind the perfect Hanukkah bouquet. Now that you're in on all the secrets, the only question is, how are you going to light up your celebration? Thanks so much for joining me.